You should subscribe to the Monaresclub. Because the Principal of Saiyans told you to, idiot. Bye.
This is Elizabeth, and I am talking about Hirudegarn. If you haven't played this leader before, when he attacks, he discards 1 and draws 2.
Has to be a battle card.
Yes, you discard a battle card, and you draw 2. And he awakens when you're at 4 life or less. And you pick up 2 energy. On his front side, he draws a card, and then if they are at 4 energy or more, they discard a card. They place it on the top of their deck. Sorry, that's more annoying, actually.
This deck puts so many cards in so many different spots, it's hard to remember.
Yeah, you do have to wait till they're at 4 energy, though. So I thought I'd start with talking about the sealed music box. This, when you play it, you can dig 7 for pretty much any of the pieces of your chain, Hirudegarn, Tapion, Minosha, or your green unison with specified cost of 1. So you can play it on turn 1, and then on turn 2, you could crack it for a green, and you can play, I think it's any of those things. Oh, it's Tapion or Minosha into play.
Because Hirudegarn wasn't in the music box, only Tapion and Minosha were.
True. Which Minosha is the beginning of your chain, so that's kind of what you're generally looking for with it. Another good turn 1 play is this Tapion, which for a blue or a green, you can discard him from hand, and then either you can draw a card and play him at the end of your turn, or you can find a sealed music box out of your deck. So he's kind of like extra sealed music box with a body attached. Especially since we don't want too many extra cards because of our leader's ability. So then we'll talk about the chain here. We have Minosha, the unsealed hero. I almost said the unsung hero. That's a little different.
He was sung. He played a flute and everything.
He played a flute. So he comes in, and then when he is KO'd, hi Dee. When he is KO'd, he brings out these, or he can draw a card. You don't use that almost ever.
The stanky leg.
So as you see, it's the other half to the leader here. So this is just a 15k that when you discard it, you can play the 4-drop, or there's another ability. I think your opponent chooses a card to discard.
Yeah. Ideally, you're playing cards every time.
Ideally, you're going up the chain. You really only use these secondary effects if
you're
out of things. So at the end of the game or something. The 4-drop does have this nice added ability that when your opponent combos, you may place that card into, I think, their drop.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah, it's like the Broly. Yeah. It's like the red green Broly effect.
Yeah. You may take 1 card from their combo area and put it into the drop. And then when he is discarded, he plays the 6-drop. That does not have any phallic shapes on it.
No, it was completely PC.
And I'm trying to remember.
He has a novel written on
Oh,
him.
he can play 4 or 9. That's what so he can either go back down to the 4 when he's discarded, or he can play the 9. Either of the 9s I will show in a sec. And then, or if he doesn't, then you can choose 2 of your opponent's cards and discard them from their hand. He has a KO built in, which is really nice, because as you will soon see, one of the issues is getting your cards to KO. So he has this KO ability that you can choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. This is really nice, and you can usually get this to trigger about turn 3. So it helps kind of control the other player for. So then the 9-drop here is this Colossal Malice, and let me remember all the things he says. When you play him, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and up to 1 card from their hand to place them on top of their owner's deck in any order. So that synergy here with your leaders. Oh, I am on the Awakened side. On the Awakened side. And then he also is kind of this weird negate on a stick. Off a stick? I don't know what you would call this kind of negate. It's a negate from play. That during your opponent's turn, you can when they attack, you can discard a card and put him into warp. Or I think you put both into warp. And then it negates the attack, and then on the next turn he comes back in and he gets his enter the battlefield ability. So this is kind of the main chain. The third piece here, you can go into from the 6, but it also has an ability from the drop, which goes with the leader. But you pay a green and you can KO one of your battle cards, I think 4, 6, or 9. 4, 6, or 7. So this,
and the 7 that doesn't exist in
the
deck
7
anymore.
we don't have in this deck
You
anymore.
could play the promo if you want, but it's kind of garbage.
Yeah, so you can play this from your drop, and then you can't do it again. And then he has an auto, so he's a blocker, which is really nice. He is unique, so you can only have one of him out.
That's why we have the other 9, though.
Yes, that's why we can have both of these out. But when you activate blocker, you choose one card in your opponent's hand and they discard it. He also has revive, so he's harder to get rid of. So this is kind of the main chain. Now you may be asking, well, how do I KO all of my things? Because obviously your opponent is probably not going to be doing it for you. Which is nice for you in some ways. They're not actively trying to get rid of your battle cards, but also you want them dead to play bigger and better things.
You gotta squish that bug over and over.
So we have a package here to KO your stuff. As said, that 9-drop can KO some of your stuff, and the 6-drop has it built in. But we first have 4 of Hoy here. When he's played, you can draw 1 card. So he can be a turn 1 play. You don't really play him. Usually you combo with him, so you'll swing with your leader or something else. You'll combo with him. And you can KO, I think it's Hirudegarn or Monaresclub, so either your beginning of the chain or any of the pieces. And it gets plus 5k for the combo, and it obviously KOs your thing. Another piece we have is this Tapion, Unsealed Hero. When you combo with him, you can KO one of your Hirudegarn cards, and then this gets played in rest mode. So that's kind of nice because then the next turn, if he's still on the board, you can combo with him again. He is unique, which is why we only play 2. Also, just Hoy is generally better. And then we have the Unison. So this Unison's pretty good for the deck because it helps up your KO power. He also has this auto that once per turn, it's kind of like the 4-drop, where this one you discard a card and then you can take one of their cards out of their combo area. He can't attack unless he has 3 or more markers on it. He can't attack if he has 3 or fewer. Sorry, fewer markers. That's what I meant to say. So that's pretty good. I don't know. I have the Unison, which is pretty nice for this deck because it adds extra KO power. He does have the downside of he can't attack if he has 3 or fewer markers on it.
Well, he only costs 1, though.
But he does only cost 1, or you can pay more to play him.
The one costs 15k. It's pretty good.
And he has the ability, like the 4-drop, only you have to discard a card from your own hand, and then you can take something out of their combo for the turn, once per turn. His +2 I don't use very often. You just choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. But if you really wanted to get up and get a swinger in there, battle attack, then you could do that. Usually I use his +1, where you can choose up to one of your hero or phantom cards. So
Which
any
is the ones you
part
care
of your
about.
chain. Any part of your chain here. And it KOs it. So you can pretty much KO your stuff for free, go up the chain.
Break their necks.
Pretty nice. So that's kind of our package to help KO things. Along with the Unison, obviously, we have our first of our negates, which is or counterplay, I should say.
It's Frieza.
It's Frieza. It is what it is. It's really good. You play it with green Unisons. And then we have this Android 17. We've kind of been messing around with the negate package in this deck. There's a lot of different things you could play. We decided this because it's a body that you could use to swing with or use for combo power. Also, you need more battle cards to discard for this. So So we kind of went with it.
It's just versatile.
He's versatile. And then we also have one max power Kamehameha, which is just also versatile, and you can get back out of your drop.
Is good, and you fill your drop up quick.
And then we added one Crushing Despair, kind of for flavor. I mean, you see Hirudegarn on it. And it also kind of goes into this discard where you can kind of cycle through your hand some. So, you know, part of this deck is a little bit of control because you're kind of just building up bigger and bigger. So you need some good negates to help with that. And then obviously super combo. You can't go wrong with Zamasu. It's one of the best super combos in the game. And it also helps with this kind of control, keeping them off your back for a while.
It's kind of like a negate and a super combo at the same time.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the Hirudegarn deck. I was a little intimidated at first, but I actually highly recommend. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Because really once you get used to how your combos, your deck lineage, whatever the word you're looking for.
The chain.
The chain, there you go. Works. It's pretty easy to work up it and finding your pieces. So yeah, make sure if you like our content to like our channel, like the video. Let me know if there's any questions you have or anything else. Thanks everyone. See you next time.